Hi there, Erin Koss here, CEO at Site Consulting Group. Today I want to talk a little bit about this idea of digital transformation, which seems to be the hot topic everywhere. And I'm going to maybe call a spade here and say that, you know what? I don't think it's really the hot topic we think it is. I think it's part of the story and it's not all of the story. And so really what we're here to talk about today is business transformation. This idea that to transform a business requires a thorough change, right? The word transformation actually means to thoroughly change. And if you're looking at just digital, that's not super thorough. It's a piece of it, right? It's the electronics, it's the technology. But what we talk about is business transformation. It's really that comprehensive, complete change that helps a business get from where they are today to where they're trying to go strategically in a way that really drives a return on investment, increases their competitiveness, and really serves their customers and their partners in a more effective way. And so when we talk about business transformation, we think about it as a 4-step process. And I want to share a little bit about that with you today because we're going to be talking about that a lot in the coming months, this summer and into the fall. And so the 4-step process that we use to ensure that we have a complete process for business transformation over a period of time along a roadmap in a way that can be digested by an organization in a manageable and real way goes something like this. You know, the first thing we do is we talk to our clients about doing an internal self-evaluation that we call a transformational readiness evaluation. Like, let's look at all of the pieces that go into transformation, have them do a self-assessment, and then provide really valuable feedback on those gaps and the issues and help them understand what needs to be addressed before they even get started. The second piece is looking at doing what we call a business assessment. They sound like they might be a little similar, but they're not. The business assessment is really about meeting with the executive team and ensuring there's solid sponsorship for whatever initiative they plan to take on in the coming months, helping them understand the timeline, the scope, and the capabilities and capacity that is required for the size of projects that they're trying to take on. At the work stream level is an assessment at the process level, if you will, or work stream level. The business assessment is going to take a little deeper dive look at that level so that we look at and identify with a client what are the gaps and challenges that you might face as you're trying to transform the business from a process and work stream perspective. So backing up again, right? We've got the transformational readiness evaluation. Are you ready everywhere? People, process, technology, capabilities, and capacity. Business assessment, executive team. Are you really ready to sponsor this thing that you think that you need? And are you looking at it in all the right ways? At the work stream level, is the workflow ready? Is it understood in a way that'll allow it to be transformed in a most efficient way? Where are the gotchas? Once you have both those pieces of information, you're now ready to do a software evaluation and selection. Now, for us as an ERP solution company, this is usually a big part of the story because it's so foundational to helping a company transform that this is really typically the type of thing that we're doing when we talk about enterprise solution selection. However, it could be any type of technology or application that is critical to driving the business. But the steps prior to that, the transformation readiness evaluation, as well as the business assessment, set the stage for the requirements that drive whatever technology or solution selection you might take on. And then finally, once you've made that selection, it's all about implementation. You will be looking at truly implementing the transformational project, processes, people, process, and technology that you need to put in place to get where you're trying to go. So again, for Site, it's a 4-step process. It's a roadmap, it's a plan, it's thorough, and it's intentional. And it's built that way so that companies and particularly our family-owned manufacturing clients, who are a big part of who we serve, don't bite off more than they can chew earlier than they can do so. And then once they decide to take the leap, they're doing so in a really methodical way. You know, one of the things that's critical to our process, kind of behind the scenes as well, is in every step of the way when we're looking at those 4 steps on the roadmap, each step we follow the same process, and we help our clients do this with us in a really collaborative way, which is going through a process of discovery, working together to really understand one another and understand that topic, that step thoroughly. The next piece is to define the roadmap of that phase, right? Each phase has kind of got its own roadmap, but it's part of a bigger story as well. So there's discover, there's define, and then finally deliver. So in each phase, there's a delivery phase, right? So in the transformational readiness evaluation, same process, discover, define, deliver, all the way down through implementation, where there's a whole nother effort related to discover, define, and deliver. Now the benefit is when we are working with our clients over a long period of time, certainly it's not a rebuild the engine on the discovery phase. Certainly we get to know each other so thoroughly that the discovery phase is pretty small by the end. But it is an important part of the process that each step of the way you're revisiting, what's important about what it is we need to know here. Are we defining the roadmap clearly for where we're for going where it is we're trying to go, getting the desired outcomes we're trying to get, and then ultimately making sure that we deliver and get the results that we're trying to achieve. And so again, it's about business transformation. And we're so excited to talk about this more and more this summer. In fact, you're going to see a number of posts from me this summer, from some of our partners potentially, and as well as a few videos, I bet, as well, that are all going to talk about this business transformation process. Now, it'll touch on digital transformation to be sure, but really it's a story about business transformation and getting to that thorough change from a strategic perspective that gets companies to grow and scale in a sustainable way that's meaningful for the long term. So join me this summer and this fall as we have these important conversations. And as we go along, we would love to get your feedback and your input on how you're approaching this, what's working, and where might you be challenged. And we'd love to hear from you. And finally, if you're just getting started, you might think about talking to us about our transformational readiness evaluation. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's a self-evaluation. And so it's something that you can take internally at your own pace, work with your leaders, your managers, your executive team to answer thoroughly. And then we'll give you some feedback on that and help you figure out what you need to do before you take on a really big change management project. So let us know how we can help and let us know how you're doing. Talk to you later.